Hey everybody, and welcome back to Zennie62. And I want to thank all of you who joined me to talk with my longtime friend Tommy Bonk about Tiger Woods' accident. Did you hear about that, Karen?
I did. I
Oh,
was just saying this morning what a life he has led. I don't know if you watched the HBO documentary, which was riveting. Um, just what a incredible career, life, upbringing, everything.
yeah, and speaking of life, career, and upbringing, you folks, this is Karen Chu. She was just recently on, as of 2 weeks ago now. Time flies
I know. What
fast.
day is it? We
I
don't
know.
know. Oh no.
Ta-da! And okay, Karen, I got to ask you this question. What are the top 5 universities in the United States?
I believe I'm guessing. I know it's going to be MIT and Harvard. I'm pretty sure probably Princeton is up there.
See, I don't know.
Stanford is up there.
I was flabbergasted that Cal, our school, go Bears, right?
Yes.
Go Bears, and Harvard would be there. I thought maybe Stanford would be there, so I thought, oh yeah, Stanford and Cal, right? And so I thought California, and then Massachusetts is the right answer, and you scored.
Yes, it is.
But you were
I
actually
think
you were shocked you scored, didn't you?
I was pretty. I think at that moment when they asked me, what the question was, the top two universities according to this 2021 list or 2021 list is from what state? And I don't know if COVID has changed rankings. And so I was a little bit kind of like, if we're going with past records, it's probably going to be Massachusetts with MIT and Harvard on top. But you know what? I recently learned I used to be so proud of Cal being the number one public school in America. It's no longer number one. It hasn't been number one for a while.
Wait,
Do
who
you know
overtook us in what category? Whoa. Let's.
best public school in the nation?
We're talking to a former member of the Cal Alumni Association board. So this is war.
Guess who took over?
Who?
UCLA.
Oh, oh. The baby bear took over the big bear? That's not.
It's okay. Still within the family.
There's something, and I want number one back. Yeah, 32. I can't say this and we get back, but I remember when it was in my third week as a grad student, city planning at Cal. I was coming out of Moffitt, and I ran into W.A. Shack, and I was like, I wanted to meet him because, African American dean of the graduate school, you got to meet him, okay? And this was like 1985, and I said, why? I mean, we got to talking, and I basically said, he said, I'll tell you why we have a grad school. He said, but let me tell you something. The one thing that we really are here for is the grad school, and folks like you. That's why we're number one. And it just was like energizing, right? We have 32 of the best schools in the world.
Yeah.
That's enough of my Cal thing. But my whole point. But hey, Cal got you on the chase, so to speak.
In a way, yeah, of course. I mean, I credit to my education, kind of my curiosity, and being in an environment where it rewards curiosity, no matter what, whether if it's academic or, knowing all the Patrick Swayze movies. It's that drive that keeps us like trivia people engaged and interested in wanting to learn. That's and being at Cal, to be honest. So I actually grew up in Asia, and I came to America primarily for college. So I went to Cal. It is such a large school, and I was just amazed at how brilliant everybody was from all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
There's the skater punk dudes, or they're the people who are really into sports, or the a cappella group, just every kind of person under the sun, all there. And it was really mind-boggling to me. But yes, so I went to Cal, went to architecture school. I did not. Yeah, Worcester. I did not have a career in architecture, sadly.
City planning for me, architecture undergraduate at Texas Arlington, but I was at Skyline, so but it's a long story. But I was going to say that one thing it took 5 years, actually 7 years for me to get out of my system is Berkeley speak, because you talk fast at Cal. And you don't realize, right? You don't realize how fast you talk until you get to the rest of the world. And it's like, wait a minute, how come everybody is so doggone slow? And when I was coming out of what used to be called, we just changed the name of it. It's still called Wheeler, but I was coming out of Wheeler and I was headed through the gate to meet my friends at the old Bears Lair. And I remember thinking about, there were 6 different conversations that passed by me within the space of 1 minute, and about different things. And you can't get that anywhere else in the world. And it's taken for granted. So
Yeah.
here is our love letter for Cal, possible future Cal students. There you go. How did you wind up on the Chase? And congratulations.
Thank you. It was, I after college, and I have been in the video game industry for almost 2 decades now. A part of me was always drawn to trivia. Me and my friends, we do pub trivia for fun at our local pub back in San Francisco. And it was just a fun activity where like adults get to work together outside of work. You get that with like intramural sports, or just, playing sports, but like, not a lot of opportunities to work together with your friends to achieve something. And I think that for me drew us to pub trivia. And we got pretty good.
Which pub?
It was, it's no longer there. It was called Elephant and Castle, which is very British, in downtown.
Is that Elephant Castle off of Union? No.
This is in Embarcadero.
Embarcadero. Okay.
Yeah.
In the Embarcadero Center or in Embarcadero?
Close by. It's near the Punchline, but it's no longer. I think it changed its name. But that pub was hard, and we had such a great time with other teams as well, who are our rival teams. And that bar was so high, and it was so fun. It was such a big part of our lives. And one day, I think it was one of my pub trivia teammates, his wife. She's like, I'm just so curious to be on your conversation during trivia. That'd be so interesting to listen to, how you guys, narrow down the right answers and the stories you guys tell and having fun. And that inspired me to be like, that might be really interesting. We have so much fun. I'm sure other people will have fun kind of joining in as well. So I started this is like 2012. I started a podcast, a pub trivia podcast. And the angle wasn't like, oh, this is a competition. It's like, hey, let's have a little pub quiz to ourselves. Let's open up to the airwaves, invite, everybody to listen in and play along. And it got pretty popular. And that was, I think, my kind of more focused foray into trivia. And then with the Chase, I got contacted probably because of the podcast. I'm not entirely sure, but I got emailed to ask to apply for, initially, actually, I was asked to apply for the weakest link. And this was back in last March, right before the shutdown, but I just had a baby. And so I was like, I can't really fly anywhere. I have to take care of the baby. I have to take care of myself. I had a really traumatic labor. And so I said no. And the casting agency contacted me again last summer asking me if I want to be on the Chase. And I was like, well, now the baby's older, I'm feeling okay. Their COVID protocols were so safe. They were very strict. They're on top of it. And it all started with an email and then an online test, which I passed. And I just kept passing through the different kind of levels, I guess. And then all of a sudden, after a couple months, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're selected to being on the show." And I was like, "Wow!"
Ah.
It's surreal. Like I remember taking the test, which is an online test. It was in a Zoom. People were watching me take the test, along with other hopefuls, and then it just, contacted me, talked to me for a little bit, asked me to essentially be on a callback over video conferencing, and answered some questions, played a little mock game, and I just kept moving forward. We filled out a lot of paperwork, a lot of surveys about ourselves, and I got selected.
Wow.
Which I'm very surprised, because I love trivia and I enjoy it. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it. And I found out that most of the other contestants were not all, but a lot of them were Jeopardy alums, and they've competed on Jeopardy before. And I was like, wow, what an honor. Like I'm just so humbled. I'm very proud of myself to make it that far.
I don't know if you can give this away, but what kind of questions, or what were they looking for to ask you, answer so many questions?
Oh, in terms of the test, or like the test questions were very general trivia fare, and then later on, to kind of get more of your bio and your personal story, a lot of questions would be kind of like, oh, what do you enjoy doing? Why do you like trivia? That kind of stuff, to really give you a chance to share your personality and share your joys in life with the world.
Oh, by the way, David Compton's one of our regular viewers. He says, hello, Karen and Mr. Z. Didn't go to school at Cal, however, but did go to the games and watch from the Hill. Go Bears. If you have a question, type it in there. And, of course, if it's appropriate, I'll present it in the screen just like I did for Mr. Compton.
Hi, David.
Yeah, David's a mensch. I could just, he's awesome. I owe him a Zennie62 hoodie. So that's two. I'll get one to you too, for being a guest. But what did you have to rehearse once you got on the set, or did they just?
You show up and they feed you to the wolves. No, I'm kidding. It's not that violent. We were actually the first episode taped. Despite, I think our episode was probably the 6th or 7th episode currently that aired, but we were the first one taped. And so really we had no idea what to expect. I didn't even know it was going to be on ABC primetime. We had no idea how much money it was going to be. And the game, like I've watched a couple iterations of The Chase for preparation, but you show up on set. It's like, okay, well, you stand here. We did practice with like just making sure the hardware is okay, like the buzzer is okay, running smoothly. And then it's like game time. This is how the game works. You're up. And it was very jarring. It was very scary. It was very terrifying. Someone on my team, he actually was on Jeopardy before, so he was very comfortable being on TV or on screen, or even just on a big stage. And I was very nervous.
So I have to ask you, before we get into the part of why you were nervous, let's talk about The Chase. What is The Chase? I mean, I have some idea, but how would you describe it to the audience?
The Chase is a trivia game show where, unlike the other game shows we know, with like Jeopardy, Weakest Link, it's really a team game, and it's, you don't see a lot of kind of contestants working together to beat what they call a chaser. So the chaser in The Chase is someone who is phenomenally savant at trivia. And for the season, it was the Jeopardy, what they call the Jeopardy GOATs, greatest of all time. It's Ken Jennings, it's James Holzhauer, it's Brad Rutter. And those three people are the most successful Jeopardy players in the history of Jeopardy. And so now you have to work as a team to try to not get chased by the chaser because they're phenomenally awesome. And so the gameplay would be there's 3 contestants. Each contestant goes up, answers a string of questions to try to build some money, to put some cash. They call it cash builder, to build some money in the bank. And in order to keep that money, then you move on to a one-on-one, like a head-to-head with the chaser. And if you get X amount correct, then you move on and you get to be at the final chase. If you don't pass that second level, then unfortunately you're eliminated from the show. And so whoever's left at the end, they go against the chaser at this final showdown. That is a big nail biter. It's very stressful, and you're trying not to get chased, essentially.
And actually,
did that make sense?
Absolutely, because at the end you were getting chased. I think it came down to 24 seconds. And
I don't even. Oh, we had. We each get each side. We all get 2 minutes on the clock, and so whoever can answer enough questions correctly within the 2 minutes. There is a little bit of a fun aspect, which is if the chaser gets any of it wrong or passes on anything, then we call it a pushback. Then it gets to the contestants and they get a chance to answer the question to see if they get it right. If they succeed, then the chaser starts at one spot behind.
Yeah. You got all that, folks?
When you watch it, it'll make a lot more sense with the graphics. They did a fantastic job with the set, with all the UI and the overlays. It really is quite a production, and it's very impressive.
The fellow that almost caught you,
yes,
is absolutely impressive. And I say all that because I've seen him before, but on this particular moment toward the end,
he was on it.
He was. I mean, you talk about the human personification of the big bad wolf. That's exactly what he looked like. It was like I'm calling this up, folks. You'll see his picture through the magic of StreamYard in a moment. And there he is right here. What's his name again?
His name is Brad Rutter.
Brad Rutter, yeah. This is when he was chasing Karen and her compadres. And he was just, and I can't play this because else the whole thing will go nuts. But he was just rattling them off. And it was like, I'm thinking, is this dude a human being or an android?
They're that good. The three chasers, you get one at random, but they're of incredible Jeopardy pedigree, phenomenally great, also great on TV as well. Brad was so charismatic, so funny. I really enjoyed him being our chaser, and that's not just because we won. I thought his chemistry with our host Sara, who is lovely. They're great together, great with us. So despite the sheer terror I felt in my brain, in my stomach, all over my body, looking back, it was a really good mix of our team, our chemistry, along with Sara, the host, along with Brad. I think together made for a really fun show. And so I was really, and it really reflected, because we did have a lot of fun on set, and I'm glad that translated on screen. Oh, there's me. Oh, I'm wearing green.
Oh, yeah, you look great in green. It's like A's green.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sporting. Why were you scared? Because I remember my first time on national television was on CNN around the time that YouTube first became big. And they did the CNN YouTube Democratic debates. But I wasn't scared. I was perturbed because I was perturbed. Yeah, because Roland Martin, what happened was that Roland Martin was the host at the time. And I'm just going to be, everybody who watches my program knows that I'm blind. And they had me on as black color, and I mean that exactly as it sounds. But I didn't realize that until I was sitting there, and they had what's her name sitting over here, and then Lucas Watson sitting over there, and they were, and Roland would skip over me with his eyes, and the time is going on. You only have so much time to do these things.
Yeah.
And so I thought, you know what? No one's going to do this to me. I'm going to blurt out something, and it just changed everything. So I was so, but the idea of being scared didn't occur to me. But that's not true. It did for 43 seconds when I was in the hotel getting ready to go, and then it went away. Why were you?
I think after that experience, I realized how impressive and how much props the people who really thrive on stage or in that environment, really are. Like all your performers and entertainers. It really is a surreal experience, and I'm so impressed with people who really thrive in that. It's how I describe it is like my ears and my eyes were functioning, and it was seeing things and it was hearing things, but in that moment, none of that information is connecting it to my brain. And it's almost like watching a slow car crash out of body experience. Like I just can't control it. It's a strange thing. I slept for 1 hour the night before. I couldn't fall asleep because I was so scared. Then we had, I said earlier, we had the kind of the rules powwow with the producer when they're explaining the game to us. And then they revealed, oh yeah, by the way, each question is worth $25,000. And all of us, like I almost, threw up on my chair. I was like, what? That's a lot. And we're used to kind of the previous versions of the chase. They're like, a couple $1,000s, which is still very significant, but like we had no idea. And all of that, being on stage, the spotlight, it was so scary. It was just so scary. And plus the added pressure of being asked questions. So, as I watch the other episodes of the chase, I'm so honored to be within this batch of contestants. I thought everybody, even if they didn't win, like everybody's really charismatic and did really well. And it's so humbling, like to that I was considered to be in this formidable group is just really humbling. I really had no idea. I'm sorry.
You won $400,000 or a portion of it, right?
Yeah, our team won $400,000. I think it is the biggest pot in the history of the chase. There are chase versions all over the world. There's Chase Australia. Chase is started out as a UK show. It's their Jeopardy. We have our Jeopardy, and their trivia religion is the chase. And it's crazy. And we split it up. All three of us made it to the final chase, which is awesome because we all really like each other, and we're still friends, and we talk to each other almost every day, and then we get to split the pot. Yeah.
Wow, you made new friends. So this is this changed your life.
I think the money less so. I think the experience and meeting people and just to have an idea of how TV production works, to really have that experience completely changes my view on everything. And just the amount of work people put in behind the scenes is just at a degree I had never really thought about before. But now that I have this kind of my third eye opening, I'm just really appreciate like everything, editing, sound, all of the stuff that we kind of take for granted with entertainment. Like there are people who work really hard on it. We talk about this amongst our contestant selves. Each contestant has like a team of at least 12 people supporting just them, who advocated for us since the online test, since the audition, who pushed for us, who made us look good, who coached us, or who gave us information. We had to deal with legal, who helped us, travel coordinators. It's insane the amount of people behind each person, and I'm so grateful. And everybody was a blast to work with.
Hey, do you find, and I asked this question, I'm trying to figure out how to ask this, I'll just ask it. Do you find there's a type of person in terms of behavior that gets on game shows, talk shows, or as commentators on news programs, like I was on CNN for a brief moment in my life? And I asked that because I'm thinking about the first time I was in a green room for that same CNN appearance, and I was with Irshad Maji, and at that time, she was a standard political commentator. She's a
correspondent, yeah.
Muslim woman who actually was known for going against Muslim practices, from her perspective, being a feminist, and just a wonderful person in New York that, you know, had she swung my way, I would have really tried to marry. But that's another story. Anyway, yes, I said that. Yes, I said that proudly. At any rate, she's outgoing. And the way she talks on television is the way she is out of it. And I noticed that with other people. Have you noticed that there is with people who are, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's not a derisive thing. It's just a way of business, right? Of being a commentator, right? Am I wrong? Or because I didn't find that in the green room, the Shrieking Violets were just that. They didn't say much. They weren't on much. And it was kind of like, gee, why are you here? And then folks like Irshad or yourself or anybody else, they just stand out. And so the camera has no problem focusing on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right on so many fronts and so many points. I think, you know, especially with this experience, talking and meeting other contestants, there seems to be a lot of people who are kind of professional game show contestants. They're very good at trivia. They're very good on camera. They're witty and they're fast. And the camera loves them. And I think that is a certain type of people. And they're the people who make watching shows really fun, whether if it's Wheel, you know, I think one of the contestants has been on Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy and some other games before, Millionaire maybe, and then this game show. So I think there are some people who are definitely stars, and that's not me.
Why?
You know,
why not you?
I don't know. It's funny because I am like this in real life, and you know what you see on the camera is very much like me in real life. But I really crack under pressure. I think that's the difference. I think I crack under pressure. As you know, I'm reminded when I watch my own episode, there are moments where like everything I passed, I completely knew at that point, but I was just too terrified, deer in the headlights, and I couldn't hear things, and it was just kind of all in my brain, and therefore, I don't think I'd be a you know, as successful as a professional contestant as a lot of other talented people.
Being watching you, I didn't get that impression. I mean, it definitely seems
that's what everybody says.
No, it doesn't come through, because when I hear you say what you just said, right, I think, okay, at what point did the buzzer go off and she missed the deadline? I don't remember seeing that, right? Because if what you were saying were true in physical practice, right, you would have missed, there would have been a buzzer, because you couldn't think because you froze. But you didn't do that.
I did freeze a couple times. I think the editing professionals really kind of streamlined things and made me look not as pathetic as maybe I felt like I was in my brain, and that's okay. That's great. But there are a lot of fun moments. Like we were surprised at the amount that were cut. A lot of back and forth and fun conversations, and And we think maybe it's just because our show had a lot of content and they had to cut a lot of things for time. It was really a good time, and I really treasured those moments where, you know, maybe it's in between takes, maybe they're fixing like a light issue, and we're just there, kind of, you know, shooting the breeze and and those moments brought me back down to earth. Like it made me feel so much more normal in a very abnormal setting. And that's what I really enjoyed.
That's fascinating, because to me, particularly today, when they're in a content-driven society, and the fact that you were on Twitch, right, and having your
I worked for Twitch. I was not a streamer. But I'm very in tune with that business.
Yeah, it's like this is another natural part of your existence, you know.
I'm very flattered, and I'm very humbled and flattered when people also share the same sentiment. Like, oh, I couldn't tell that you were so awkward, or you were nervous at all, because you seem really natural. And I think that's, like I said, when I'm terrified like that, kind of black out, and something just kind of takes over me, and I'm just kind of like a marionette. But you see, there's one big thing about me and my personality that maybe that's what the producer saw in me, is I have no fear or no worry in looking silly in public. I don't mind being goofy. I don't mind looking ridiculous or doing ridiculous things. I think it's funny. And so, I think maybe you can catch some of that. I think as part of what I said on the show, my bio is that I like to run marathons, or I used to before pandemic, wearing really outrageous, ridiculous costumes. That's just kind of like what I did, because like, to me, I like running races, but it gets a little monotonous, and it's I'm trying to like make it more fun for myself and for other people. And so I would craft these elaborate, crazy costumes and run in them, and the whole point is to like look ridiculous and fun, and so I think that part of my Instagram. Oh yeah, you can.
Ooh, like this?
Yeah. My little race costumes to highlight there.
Wait a minute, look at this. Is it your little one?
Yeah, that's my daughter. Oh, thank you.
Oh, and you've got Coming to America. Trading
Places.
Places. That's right. Trading Places. Come on, Zennie.
That's my favorite movie of all time.
And one of mine too. And this is I'm looking for you in costume.
Oh, it's been we've been in pandemic for a while. It's probably buried in, but
wait, I'm presuming this is your artwork?
Yeah, some doodles I did a long time ago that I found.
Work. This is outstanding.
Oh, thank you.
So what are you doing in your other life as opposed to game show host?
I worked in the video game industry for a long time, mostly as a designer or a design lead or a design manager. And most recently, I was working at Twitch for almost 8 years. Mm-hmm. And I recently left my job so that I can spend more time with my newborn baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how's motherhood? How do you having fun?
It's so fun. I know people would hate me for saying this, but like, it's so fun. Our baby doesn't give us that much trouble. She's so funny, and we're really enjoying it. And I really, having there's some costumes here. That's one of my recent ones. Yeah.
Is this how you met your husband?
No. But you know what? Props to him. I convinced him. Like he thought it was a cool thing too. He's like, sure. Instead of, oh no, we have to run a marathon. He's like, what should we dress up as? And so it's.
You ever done the Beta Breakers?
Of course. I've done many times.
I've done my first Beta Breakers was 1988, and I did 19 straight. My best time was 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 32 seconds.
Wow.
And then it just consistently went downhill after that. So anyway,
so for a while, before the costumes, I was pretty serious. I'm not like a professional runner, but I was pretty serious about time, about placement, age placement. And to a point where I started kind of stressing myself out too much. Like the pressure was a little bit overwhelming. Like, oh my God, I have to get a sub, 4:30 or whatever, 5 or, for this race. And one day I was just like, this is not fun anymore. Let's try to make it more fun, make it more enjoyable. If I'm going to be out there for that long, let's really have a good time. And that's like, I just started running slower. I started wearing costumes and, I stopped when I wanted to. If I'm going to talk to people, I would. And it just became more of a fun experience for me. And of course, maybe if I was fast, I would tell another story, but that's my experience.
One thing I love about Beta Breakers is just the size and the camaraderie.
And the naked people.
Well,
it's okay. I'm behind them, so I don't really see much.
I had the honor of working as press under my own company.
Oh.
Up until 2000. The last time was 2009, 2010. So I saw it from a different perspective. I was ahead. But hey, I'm curious. You won't move from San Francisco to Oakland. When did you move?
Oh, just a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I mean, after Cal, I lived in Berkeley for a decade or so. Moved to the city for a couple of years just because it was closer to work. And then and after 2 years, came back to the East Bay, and now we live in West Oakland.
How do you like West Oakland?
It's great. It's a real sense of community. Whereas you're coming from the city, for us, it was like we barely knew our apartment neighbors, and versus here, more in the suburbs, and there really is a sense of community. I know all my neighbors. There's a community garden. We know the people who runs the store across from us. So I walk the dog and I see the same people and say good morning. It was at this stage of my life, it was really nice. When I was younger, of course, it was like, oh, city's so fun. But now with a family, with a baby, being so convenient in West Oakland, it's convenient to go to city, go to Emeryville, Berkeley, whatnot. It's been very enjoyable. And the weather is great. So much sun.
Yeah.
So much, not a lot of depressing San Francisco fog. My garden's growing great.
Nice. Hey, what do you think about, I want your opinion, because I think I would be remiss not to ask you what you thought about the Asian violence toward Asians in Chinatown area that's going on in Oakland. There's the question.
It's hard. It's extremely difficult to see, especially when we're grown up in a culture where, we're asked to, or we're asked, but it's kind of proposed to swallow your pain, swallow your anger, swallow your bitterness. Actually, we literally call it eat bitterness in Chinese, which is just head down, hardworking, don't make a fuss. And that attitude is just very toxic with what's happening, right? You're downplaying, when you're a victim, you're downplaying what's happening to you, or you're unwilling to talk about it, or you assume that it's okay and it's natural. And it's very, very hard to see for someone in the younger generation to see someone, of my parents' generation go through that. And it feels very helpless. It feels very helpless. For me, when I think about my family and I think about my parents, if they had to go through that, it's difficult. And, I'm happy to see a lot of activism, a lot of awareness is brought up for this. There's been a lot of marches and rallies. I've seen some beautiful pictures, from press, of people's signs and people being really passionate about this and being out there rallying. I think there is one there's a rally this coming Sunday, I believe. I think a middle schooler in South Bay is actually started organizing one. But yeah, it's difficult. It's hard. That's all I can, and I feel helpless. I don't know how to help.
No, I think although I'm puzzled as to why this is happening now. It's just, in other words, all of a sudden, because I was looking at statistics, like why this blip?
Yeah, I think partially is it's being documented. Probably it has been happening, and we just might not know about it until a couple videos go viral and people kind of start sharing their own stories. Sometimes it just takes one, and all of a sudden all this other footage comes out, whether if it's now or a couple months ago. But yeah, it just never ends, huh? Sometimes that's how it makes me feel. It just never, we have a little bit of success, and then all of a sudden it's like another very depressing thing that happens. Well, actually, I talk to my fellow contestants a lot. It just seems like, every week we're kind of anticipating the episode of The Chase, and every week there is some major news event that happens, and it just, like, we're happy about the episode, but then should we celebrate? Should we be happy for, this thing when so many things have gone awry? Yeah. So yeah, it's every week. I was like, it's a miracle. The Chase is on Thursday. It seems like something major happens every Wednesday since this year started. Yeah. And it's a lot. It's just like, wow, it's perpetual. It just never stops. And it's tiring. It's been a long time now.
You're right.
Being a pandemic, and
actually, yeah, it is exhausting. I find that particularly in this business, it really drags you down. In a physical sense, it is exhausting. Do you want to be on The Chase again, or how? Do they contact you and say, "Hey, Karen, come back so we can win some"?
I think that's like a one and done thing. I don't think they'll let repeat. Maybe they'll let repeat contestants. Yeah, sure, I'll show up, but I can.
You won't say no, right?
I won't say no. I think it was a really fun time. It'd be great to see all the crew people again. I really enjoyed that. They were great. In terms of my performance, I don't think I will be a very good performer, but it'd be fun to do it again. People ask me a lot, like, "Oh, cool. Would you be on Jeopardy? What other shows would you be on? Would you consider?" The two shows that I would want to be on, one is Impossible. We just have to kind of turn back time. There was a PBS show called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego when I was a kid. Yes, that is a show I, as a kid, want to be on so bad. It was a geography. Because it was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. It's a geography-based game show, and there's questions about places, and at the end there's like a big map, and you have to like put these poles onto the map that's on the ground. It's so hectic, and it seems so fun. And then the other show I'd like to be on is Supermarket Sweep.
What's Supermarket?
Because
oh, wait a minute, I know what that is. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, that would be great.
They brought it back.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Have you applied or?
No, I haven't. I think I need to chill out for a while from this big high that is The Chase, and kind of go back to my cool, chill self for a while. It's been a lot. It's great. Like, everybody's telling me congrats, a lot of attention, and it's been really fun. But really, I can't wait to like take a nice bath.
So now that you live in Oakland, when it reopens, you should check out room 389 on Grand Avenue. It's Grand Avenue 389 Grand, because Wednesdays hopefully they will have again, they had trivia night.
Oh.
Yeah, and you'd be a hit. No pun intended, but yeah.
Well, our team used to win a lot of the area, like the Bay Area trivia competitions and pub trivia leagues and stuff.
Here,
They
Brad.
called us. No,
No.
in a way, I felt like we were hated for a while. They called us like the Manchester United of pub trivia, which is the football team.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so yeah. I don't know how we feel, but we'd love to. Especially now that me and my pub trivia teammates, who are also my podcast co-hosts, we all have kids now. Like within the last 5 years, like all of us now have like a new generation of little trivia masters in training.
You're bragging.
We used to be good. Then we had kids.
I'm not. Hey, look, it's the late Don Meredith used to say, "It's not bragging if you can do it. You've done it." So
we've done it. I don't know if we can do it again. I ran a fast marathon before. I don't know if I can do it again.
I got to ask you about the A's. What do you think of the talk about a ballpark? Do you favor Coliseum or Howard Terminal, or are you like, where are you with that? Or I'm up for anything that does the team good and the city good. We're actually very, I love the Coliseum just because there's a big nostalgia for me, and so much space. There used to be a 5K, Oakland A's 5K that you run around, which is really fun. And Howard Terminal, that's really close to me personally, so that'd be really fun too, to be able to ride a bicycle to a game. Yeah.
I think about that. Our daughter has not experienced a baseball game yet, and we're that type of family. We were so excited when we're like, oh my God, we're gonna take her to every game. We're gonna have dress her up in A stuff, and that'd be so fun. And then the lockdown happened, so we haven't been able to experience that. But one day I think about, just riding a bike, the whole family, to go see a baseball game and come back. That'd be so fun.
Well, hey, I have to say, welcome to Oakland. And
thank you.
Do you have a favorite video game that you play since you're in the business that you recommend, or?
Oh, it's so weird though. There is a game recently. There's a game recently I've been playing. It's available on Steam, so online. It's called Luck Be a Landlord.
Wow,
and I'm going to sound insane trying to describe this game. It is a strategy slot machine game. Is a slot machine card building, deck building strategy game. And it sounds insane. Yes, it's an onion. It's just a lot of different layers of it. And it's super fun. It's very accessible, and it's very strange. And I recommend everybody to try it out.
Is it app-based?
It's not app-based. It is, but you can play it on your computer.
Interesting.
If it were app-based, I'd be in trouble.
Well, Karen, we'll talk backstage, and you gotta come back and keep us informed about trivia and anything else you want to talk about, or the upcoming chase, or
sure.
Any
I do have something to share related to Chase. So they're casting for a new season or new episodes. I believe the casting website is up, and they're looking for new contestants. So if anybody's interested, I believe it is simply thechasecasting.com.
Oh, let me see if I can find it here. The Chase casting.com. And voila.
And that's where I started too.
I wrote it the wrong way. Let me try this. The Chase, because I'm stupid. The Chase casting, all one word.
.com.
And it's, come on, Zen, what's going on here? Oh, wait. I got it.
Yeah.
And now that I got it, folks, I can do the magic of StreamYard, which I love. I can show it to you. And as hold on to your tails, folks, because believe it or not, it is coming up.
It's a pretty easy application process, put in your information, and the next step is they do like they sent you instructions for an online test, and you schedule your online test.
There it is.
There it is.
On with the 3 gentlemen that Karen was up against and beat.
Yes.
Karen beat these guys
as a team. As a team.
But you're still
a team effort.
Still a giant killer. I'm not letting you not wear that moniker. You have to have a T-shirt that says "Giant." I killed the giant.
Goliath. David versus Goliath.
Yeah. So how about Karen versus Goliath? There's even better. Even better, folks. The chase is on. Join the giant killer right there. Hey, it's fun talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Go Oakland, go Cal,
go Bears,
Bay,
go Bay.
All of it.
Get football back in Oakland. Get affordable housing back in Oakland.
Yes,
absolutely. Get more money in Oakland and straighten it out. All right, folks, that ends this broadcast, and please share it around. Thank you. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.